Greetings and welcome back to another wristwatch video and another wristwatch tutorial. Now, as you can see by the title, today we are going back to the very basics about wristwatches, and we're talking about how to set the time on your analog wristwatch or how to use a date or day date complication on your wristwatch. And for that, we are going to be using the three watches you can see in the video: the Spaghetti Scametti watch, the Stowa Marine Classic 40, and the Tissot Visitate. Now, I already made reviews of all three watches you see here. If you're interested in more detailed reviews of these watches, links are in the description of the video. Now, I understand that for somebody who is in the wristwatch community, this video is really not needed. Everybody knows how to set their watches, how to change dates or dates on their watches. But believe it or not, most normal people, okay, they know how to set their analog watch, but they don't know how to change the date on their watch, or if they do, they don't do it in the best way. They use a very unpractical way to change the date on their watch, which I will show in this video. So this is basically for the average person who just doesn't really care about watches that much. They only use it as a fashion accessory, which is perfectly fine, of course. This is for them, this is for you guys, how to basically set the time on your watch and how to change the date or date complication on your watch. Now, let's start with the most basic thing ever, how to change the time on your analog wristwatch. We are going to be using the best watch ever, Spaghetti Scametti, for this purpose. Essentially, what you're going to do, you're going to use this thing here. It's called the crown of the watch. You pull it out and you rotate it in order to move the hands of the watch, and that's pretty much it. You can rotate it in one way to move the hands forward or the other way to move the hands backward, and that's it. When you're done setting the watch, you just click the crown back into position and you are basically done. Very simple, very straightforward. So I'm pretty sure most people know this, but in case you didn't know how to set the time on your analog watch, this is how you do it. Now, let's go into the more complicated parts. That is how to use different complications. And I think one of the most common complications on a wristwatch you can find today is the date complication. As you can see above the 6 o'clock position, this here is the date complication on this Stowa Marine Classic 40. Now, how do most people do it? How do they usually change the dates, if they bother changing the dates and all on their watches? Well, simply, they would just pull the crown out to the farthest away position and they would rotate the hands until the date changes. So essentially, they would rotate the hands to make it past 24 hours and then the date will automatically change, which is actually how I used to change the date on my watch until I realized there's a better way to do it. So as you can see, we are nearing midnight and now the date will change. And yeah, that's how, like I said, how most people, at least in my surroundings, do it. But there is a much more simpler way to do this, where you don't have to waste as much time. Essentially, again, we're gonna be using the crown, but we're gonna pull the crown out to the first position. Now, what are the positions of a crown? If you would take the crown of your watch, which has the date complication, for example, if you pull it out slowly, you will notice there are a couple of clicks as you're pulling the crown out. These are the positions. So for this watch, the crown is all the way inside. This is the base position. When we pull the crown out a little bit, we're gonna feel a little click. This is the first position. And then when we pull the crown out a bit more, this is the second position of the watch. Now, or of the crown. Now, we're just gonna need the first position. We're gonna pull the crown out to the first position and we're gonna rotate it in order to change the date on the watch. On some watches, you rotate the crown downwards. On some watches, you rotate the crown upwards. On this watch in particular, you rotate the crown upwards and you change the position. Or you change the date, sorry. So as you can see, while rotating the crown upward, we are changing the date on the watch. And that's basically it. When you're done, you just click the crown back into the base position, the starting position, and you are all set to go, at least date-wise. And that's pretty much it. Fairly simple, but again, something a lot of people are not aware how to do. And the third thing is when you have a day-date complication, like on this Tissot Visitate. So as you can see here, we have the date and the day. Essentially, it's going to be the same story as with the Stowa Marine Classic. We're going to take the crown of the Visitate and pull it out to the first position, and then rotate the crown in order to change the date or the day. Now, on this watch in particular, we rotate the crown upwards, like on the Stowa, to change the date. And if we want to change the day, we're gonna rotate the crown downwards. Now for this watch in particular, you have, like, let's say 2 versions of the day. So you have just the name of the day in the week, or the name of the day and the number of the day in the week. So for example, we know Sunday is the 7th day of the week. That's why it has a number 7 here. And again, when you're done setting the day date, you just click the crown back into the original base position. And that's pretty much it. That is how you change the day date on the watch, or maybe how you just change the date on the watch, or even just how you set the time on the watch. And that's pretty much it. It's a fairly simple video, but again, something I notice a lot of people don't know how to do. Now, of course, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, leave a thumbs down, and maybe give me some suggestions on how I can improve my content. Subscribe if you want to see more wristwatch or fragrance related videos. Of course, if you're interested in these watches, I made detailed reviews. Links are in the description of this video. And until next time, guys, see ya and have a great day. Bye.